On Friday, January the 30th, Lewis Hamilton finished the Barcelona shakedown with the fastest overall time. But it wasn't the lap that sent a ripple of intrigue through the paddock. It was what he said afterwards. In a statement that cut through the usual pre-season platitudes, Hamilton declared he feels the winning mentality within Ferrari more than ever. This wasn't about a timesheet, it was a declaration about a cultural shift at the heart of Maranello. We need to break down what he said, what it means for the SF-26, and why it could change everything for the 2026 championship.
For a team like Ferrari and for a driver like Lewis Hamilton, the last few years have been a study in frustration. Ferrari, the sport's most storied name, has been unable to mount a sustained championship challenge, often undone by strategic blunders, questionable reliability, and a car that was difficult to understand. Hamilton's blockbuster move to the Scuderia was a seismic event, a bet on the promise that Maranello could once again become the home of champions. The 2026 regulations represent a critical reset for both. This is their chance to break free from past failures. But the central question is this: are Hamilton's words merely the first chapter in another book of false dawns for Ferrari, or is this statement, backed by the initial data from the SF-26, the first concrete evidence of a genuine silver bullet that could vault them ahead of their rivals? To answer that, we have to look closely at the engineering choices they've made, the data from the test, and the cultural change Hamilton is pointing to.
Let's start with the car itself, the SF-26. The most revealing insights come directly from Hamilton's feedback, and they paint a picture of a very specific design philosophy. He described the car as oversteery and snappy and sliding. In isolation, that sounds like a handful, a potential nightmare for tyre degradation and driver confidence. But the crucial part of his description was the follow-up. But it's a little bit easier to catch, and, most importantly, more enjoyable to drive. This is not just driver preference, it is a profound technical statement. In the new era of 2026 regulations, the cars feature significantly less downforce than the previous generation. They are inherently more nervous, more on a knife edge. Think of it like the difference between a modern, stable passenger car and a high-performance track car. The track car is more agile and responsive, but also far less forgiving of mistakes. A car that is snappy but easy to catch is the holy grail in this scenario. It suggests a platform that communicates its limits clearly to the driver. The oversteer indicates a willingness to turn, an agility that drivers crave, but the predictability means Hamilton can push to the edge of that grip without the fear of a sudden, unrecoverable snap. This points to a chassis with a well-understood aerodynamic map and a suspension geometry that works in harmony with it, allowing the driver to play with the slip angle.
It's a race car that wants to be driven, not just managed.
This driver-centric philosophy is especially critical given the complexities of the new power units. With the MGU-H gone, and a near 50-50 split between internal combustion and electrical power, energy management will be a monumental task. A driver fighting an unpredictable car will have less mental capacity to manage the intricate energy deployment and recovery strategies required to be competitive. An enjoyable, predictable car frees up that mental bandwidth. This could be a masterstroke in the early phase of these new regulations. While other teams may be fighting to simply tame their creations, Ferrari may have delivered a baseline that is inherently usable, allowing them to focus on extracting performance rather than just achieving stability. This is the difference between a tool and a weapon.
This positive subjective feedback is backed by the most important objective metric from testing: mileage.
Ferrari achieved the second highest lap count of the entire Barcelona test, only beaten by Hamilton's former team, Mercedes. This is a monumental data point. For years, Ferrari's pre-season campaigns have been punctuated by frustrating reliability issues and downtime. To emerge from the very first shakedown of a brand new, highly complex car with a nearly flawless reliability record is a testament to a revolution in their design and validation process. It speaks to thousands of hours of dyno time, meticulous quality control, and a power unit that is fundamentally robust. A productive week with minimal downtime, as the team experienced, is worth more than any single headline lap time. It allows the engineers to cycle through their entire run plan, gathering terabytes of crucial data on aerodynamics, tyre behavior, and system checks. It means the drivers get crucial seat time, building their understanding of the car's nuances. Speed can be found, but reliability must be designed in from the very beginning. This high lap count suggests Ferrari has built a solid foundation upon which they can now build performance.
It's a quiet confidence, a sign of a team that has done its homework. However, we must apply a layer of balanced skepticism. Our resident F1 technical expert, Gary Anderson, described the SF-26 as neat and tidy, but noted there wasn't much there to leave him wide-eyed. This is a crucial piece of analysis. It suggests that Ferrari has not, perhaps, opted for a radical, high-risk design concept. Instead, they may have focused on executing the fundamentals to the highest possible level. In a year with all new regulations, this is an incredibly intelligent strategy. Rather than swinging for the fences with a concept that might be a dead end, they have built a solid, understandable platform. This aligns with Hamilton's own comments that development and clear communication will be crucial before the season opener in Melbourne. The SF-26 that we saw in Barcelona is merely the first iteration. Its strength may not lie in a single radical innovation, but in its capacity for development. A neat and tidy car is often one that responds well to setup changes and upgrades, a platform that doesn't have a fundamental flaw that will hamstring development for the rest of the season. The real test is not how fast the car is today, but how fast it can be made tomorrow. Ferrari's strong start is not a declaration of victory, but a declaration of potential. What makes Ferrari's promising start so fascinating is how it stacks up against the competition. The 2026 regulation reset is the great equalizer, and every team's first steps tell a different story. The most obvious benchmark is Mercedes. They topped the mileage charts, completing the highest lap count of any team. This signals, much like Ferrari, a focus on fundamental reliability and data gathering. It sets up a tantalizing narrative for the start of the season. Mercedes, the masters of the hybrid era, bringing their institutional strength and reliability, versus a resurgent Ferrari, armed with a driver-friendly car and a newfound operational sharpness. It's a clash of titans, and their similar focus on mileage suggests both teams understand that the 2026 championship will be a war of development, and the first battle is to build the most reliable platform. This philosophical alignment between the two giants is telling. It suggests that the smartest minds in the paddock believe that a solid, reliable foundation is the key to unlocking performance in this new era, rather than a risky, headline-grabbing design that might prove to be a dead end. But this is not a two-horse race. Hamilton himself was quick to point out that Red Bull and Haas also conducted strong tests. This is a critical observation. Red Bull, embarking on its new era with its own powertrain division, remains a formidable force. Their ability to innovate is second to none, but they are facing the monumental challenge of designing and building both a chassis and a power unit for the first time. This is a task that has humbled giants. The integration between chassis and engine is one of the most complex relationships in F1, and Red Bull is taking on this integration in-house, a massive technical and logistical undertaking. Any sign of a strong test from them should be taken very seriously, as it suggests they are managing this immense challenge effectively. Haas, meanwhile, as a Ferrari customer, represents a key barometer for the new power unit's performance. A strong showing from them would not only signal a competitive midfield car, but would also serve as further validation of the Ferrari engine's power and reliability. Hamilton's acknowledgement of these rivals is a sign of a seasoned competitor who knows that threats can come from anywhere on the grid. He is not focused solely on Mercedes, he is watching everyone. This is why we must adhere to the principle of acknowledging uncertainty with authority. As Hamilton rightly stated, the actual competitiveness remains unknown. Pre-season testing is a world of smoke and mirrors. We do not know the fuel loads, the engine modes, or the specific run plans each team was executing. A car running on low fuel to set a glory lap looks very different from a car on a heavy fuel race simulation. This year, that uncertainty is magnified. With completely new cars and power units, teams are not just refining, they are learning. The data they are gathering is for their own internal correlation, not for public comparison. The SF-26 may look strong, but we do not know the compromises made to achieve that performance, nor do we know the hidden potential of its rivals. The true competitive order will only begin to reveal itself under the floodlights of the first qualifying session in Melbourne. The most powerful data point to emerge from Barcelona was not on an engineer's laptop. It was in the words of Lewis Hamilton. His perspective provides a layer of human intelligence that transcends the raw numbers. When he says he feels the winning mentality within Ferrari more than ever, it is a profound statement. This is a man who has spent over a decade at Mercedes, a team that defined an era of Formula One through its relentless, clinical pursuit of victory. He knows what a winning culture looks like, feels like, and smells like. For him to suggest that Ferrari is now embodying that spirit is the highest possible praise. He followed this by emphasizing that everyone's really coming with new energy this year. This points to a cultural transformation, a shedding of the old, often dysfunctional skin of Maranello and the growth of something new. It suggests that the blame culture and political infighting that have so often plagued the team have been replaced by a unified sense of purpose and renewed motivation. This is not just hype, it is a strategic asset. A team that is energized and cohesive is one that can react faster, solve problems more effectively, and endure the immense pressure of a championship fight. This cultural shift is the context for his technical feedback. His description of the car as enjoyable is not a throwaway comment. A happy driver is a fast driver. A car that inspires confidence allows its driver to consistently extract that last 1% of performance. Hamilton's cautious optimism, his admission that development and communication are key, further reinforces his role as a leader. He is not just a driver, he is a catalyst for change, using his immense experience to guide the team's focus. His feedback is shaping the development path of the SF-26. When he speaks, the engineers listen. The car's character, being oversteery but easy to catch, is likely a direct result of this symbiotic relationship. He is helping to mold the car in his image, creating a machine that complements his driving style. This insider's perspective tells us that the story of the SF-26 is not just about carbon fiber and horsepower, it's about the human element, the fusion of a legendary driver with a legendary team, both hungry to reclaim the pinnacle of the sport. The strategic implications of this strong start for Ferrari are immense, extending far beyond the first race. If the SF-26's driver-friendly platform proves to be a genuine competitive advantage, it puts immense pressure on their rivals. In the era of the budget cap, the development war is a battle of efficiency. A team cannot simply scrap a flawed concept and start again mid-season. A fundamental design pivot is incredibly costly, consuming millions of dollars and precious wind tunnel time that can never be recovered. This is why a team that starts with a fundamentally flawed concept is already on the back foot for the entire season, and potentially the next. Ferrari, by choosing a potentially more conservative but solid baseline, may have given themselves the most valuable asset in modern Formula One, a clear and efficient development path. They have locked themselves into this philosophy, and its success in the opening races will be a critical validation. We are not just watching a new car, we are watching a high-stakes strategic gamble that could define the competitive landscape for the next 2 years. Hamilton's arrival was the spark, but the SF-26 is the machine that must deliver. The pressure is on, but for the first time in a long time at Maranello, it seems to be a productive, energizing pressure, not a destructive one. The long-term game in 2026 is not just about the first race, but about which team has the most room to grow. A car that is neat and tidy and enjoyable to drive is a car that provides a stable platform for upgrades. It means the aerodynamicists can add new components and get predictable results without chasing their tails trying to fix an inherent imbalance. This is how championships are won in the budget cap era, not with a single silver bullet, but with a relentless, efficient stream of small improvements. So, to answer our central question, is Hamilton's optimism a sign of a genuine Ferrari resurgence? The initial data suggests that the SF-26 is a potent weapon, a car built on a solid foundation of reliability and driver-centric design. The cultural shift Hamilton speaks of appears to be real, a vital ingredient that has been missing from Maranello for far too long. But its ultimate success is far from guaranteed. It is a bold statement of intent, a well-executed opening move in a championship chess match that is just beginning. This technical and cultural battle will evolve with every single race weekend. So, what's your verdict on this new Ferrari? A stroke of genius that will carry Hamilton to his 8th title, or another false dawn? Let me know your analysis in the comments below. To get the deepest, most informed analysis on how this story unfolds throughout the 2026 season, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to bring 50,000 of us together for the most intelligent F1 conversation on the platform. The season just got a lot more interesting.